Okay, so I want a Pizza Hut pizza, but I don't want to order it. I'm gonna make it myself. Can be done, right? So one of my least favorite things I've ever made on this show is an attempt at recreating a Pizza Hut pan pizza. I tried to make it myself and it didn't turn out. It didn't look like Pizza Hut. It looked like a poorly made pizza at best. Of course, this has to be one of my most viewed videos. People watch it regularly, they're commenting, they're leaving their thoughts. So I'm constantly reminded about this thing. And it was a few years ago, but I still think, like, what was I thinking? And it's my own fault. I made the video, I released it, I gave it a clickbaity title of recreating a Pizza Hut pan pizza at home. I'm asking for it. So yeah, here are some of my favorite comments. Your pizza looks so bad, really. I am a pizza chef who works in a pizza restaurant and this is my opinion, buddy. So I watched the whole video to find out it's nothing like a Pizza Hut video. Thanks, dude. This isn't how the crust is. No offense, but this looks really bad. You probably got fired from Pizza Hut. Looks nothing like Pizza Hut. Why take life in our own hands when we could let go of everything and trust God? And lastly is by far the biggest sucker punch to the face. Lazy, disrespectful, and dumb. You should put more effort into something else. Well, I'm gonna put more effort into making a Pizza Hut pizza video. I get it. I know it sucks. I know more than anyone. I'm the one that ate it. I would delete the damn video off the internet, but that's not what this channel is about. It's about the journey. And if you even go back to my earliest videos that I've made, there's a pizza video there. And look at that attempt. So, I mean, if you're comparing the Pizza Hut video to that, well, yeah, the Pizza Hut is still not great. So I want to redo this thing very badly. I've always wanted to. So today is the day. And there is some good that's come from this video of mine. Some useful comments, previous Pizza Hut employees who have made these pizzas firsthand. They know what's involved. So they've shared tips and tricks and secrets of the trade. So I'm gonna take all that useful information and then I've also done some separate research into this with copycat recipes and whatnot. I'm gonna merge that all together and hopefully there's some redemption in there for me. So let's make this damn thing. Okay, I'm gonna start with making the pizza dough. So I have my stand mixer, and if you don't have a stand mixer, don't worry about it. You can use a hand mixer. If you make dough with your hands, you can do that. It just takes a little more work. This makes things a lot more easier, but if you don't have it, you don't have it. You can still make a great pizza without one of these things. 1.5 cups, 354 milliliters of water. Packet of instant yeast, which is roughly 7 grams. 3 tablespoons, 14 grams of milk powder. Whisk it until the yeast dissolves. Step aside for a second. In a separate bowl, I'm gonna add in 4.5 cups, 637 grams of bread flour. One bowl into another bowl. That didn't make any sense. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar. Quick whisk, and come back over here. Add the dry ingredients. On goes the dough hook. So I'm gonna mix this on low until it's combined. So that's come together, it looks a bit scrappy. I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 at a time, while this is running. And it's gonna keep this running for 10 minutes. It's gotta knead together. It needs to knead. 10 minutes later. Thank you for your service. It's the slipperiest, oiliest dough I've ever seen. Just going to throw way too much flour onto the surface, slop some of it up with the rolling pin, and I'm gonna roll this out to 3/4 of an inch thickness, 12 inches in diameter. However, they are accounting for a 14-inch pan and mine's gonna be 8 for a 10-inch pan. Just need to take half of this away. 8 inches in diameter, 3/4 of an inch thick. Bingo! So I'm gonna be using my cast iron skillet as my vessel for cooking my pizza today. This isn't a crazy big skillet, so this is more like a personal sized pizza, which is cool, because I wanna eat it all and I don't wanna share it. The recipe says 1/2 cup of vegetable oil in the pan. However, because my pan is 4 inches smaller than their pan, How about like 1/8 cup? 1/8 cup of oil plus some for good luck. There should be a slight run of oil. Check. And my dough disc goes in. The dough isn't touching the sides. There's a lot of oil still in there, but it's not like submerged in the oil. So I think that's good. So I'm just gonna cover that with a kitchen towel, and I'm gonna throw this into the fridge for a minimum of 4 hours, up to a day, 24 hours. I'm opting for the 4 hours. It's gonna double in size. It's gonna look nice and puffy. So that's gonna just hang out there. So with the extra dough, I formed it into a disc, wrapped it up in plastic wrap, and I'm gonna freeze it, just like what Pizza Hut does. The dough discs come frozen at Pizza Hut. And then next time I want a personal sized pan pizza, I have my Pizza Hut dough ready to go. So the dough is doing its thing in the fridge. That means I need to make some tomato sauce while I wait around. I have a 8-ounce can of tomatoes. These are whole peeled tomatoes. Now the recipe I'm following says a can of tomato paste, like a big can of tomato paste like this. I don't have it, which is fine. It's totally cool. Blend up the tomatoes. Saucepan, add the tomatoes. There'll be some seeds in my sauce, but I'm not too worried about it. If you don't want seeds, then you can strain it. Medium-high heat. Half a cup, 150 grams of tomato paste. Throw that in there. Half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of dried basil, half a teaspoon of marjoram, however you say that. Marjoram, marjoram. Half a teaspoon of salt. A scant 1/8 teaspoon of MSG, or accent. Mix it all in there, put a lid on that, turn the heat down, and cook that for like 45 minutes. Hello, 4 hours later. This has doubled in size. It is proofed, it has done exactly what it's supposed to do. So I should mention this before you add the sauce. I just added the sauce, but I should mention that I'm not supposed to like punch down the dough. Resist the urge, unless you have huge air pockets. So I have no urge. Pizza sauce on top, and that is a great looking pizza sauce. I'm just kind of going with like that much. This is pre-shredded, low moisture mozzarella cheese. When topping the pizza, bring the toppings as close to the edge as possible. The cheese, oil, and grease all help form these crispy edges you're looking for. Okay, that's really good to know. With pepperoni, I know that they kind of shrink up a bit when you're cooking them, so more is more in this case. So the Pizza Hut pans are thinner so that they don't take as long to heat up when they're in the oven. But a cast iron is much thicker, and because of that, I would recommend you cooking this on the stove top a bit before finishing it in the oven. It's on medium heat. Heat it up, maybe like 5 minutes there, and then Okay, there's a seasoning that I have to prepare for when the pizza's out of the oven, but I figure I just do it right now. 4 parts Parmesan cheese, 1 part garlic powder, 1 part oregano, 1 part basil. Where'd that MSG go? Oh, Jesus. Just a little bit MSG. And mix that all together. I cover the crust with this after it's been baked, so have that ready. Once that's heated up, into a super hot oven. A scorching 500-degree Fahrenheit oven. I'm gonna bake that for, it says 14 minutes, but I'm gonna eyeball it between 10 and 14, in between. Jeez, it is so loud outside. What the f is going on? It looks thick. While the pizza's hot, I'm gonna add the seasoning to the crust. Parmesan's gonna melt on top, I hope. Wow, that is a mammoth. Look how high the crust rose.
Oh my God.
Tell me that doesn't taste like Pizza Hut.
Yeah, it does. It tastes really good.
Does it taste like Pizza Hut though?
Mm-hmm.
You actually think so?
I actually think
What this reminds me of is going to the Pizza Hut restaurant in like the 90s or like 20 years ago. You get a personal pan pizza. I feel like if I had just punched the dough down, it would have been much thinner. But hindsight is, of course, Since I had the extra dough lying around, I figured I'd give this the good old-fashioned college try, take 2. So I took the frozen dough disc out of the freezer last night, and I added it to my baking dish, which had the oil in it. I had that in the fridge, and once it thawed out and started to rise, I just kind of gently pressed down on it, just very gently, to fit the bottom part of this baking dish. And now it kind of looks like a Frisbee, and it didn't really rise up too much. So I'm kind of happy with where it's at now, because I'm trying to avoid the very thick crust. I'm gonna add the seasoning now rather than after the bake, because I really want the Parmesan to stick onto the crust. Let's see what happens. The way the oil cooked up the bottom of this pizza is just, it is much thinner than the pizza from a few days ago, but I feel like if once I take the dough out of the fridge and then I give it like a even firmer punch down, really get it thin before I add it into the oven, that might solve my problem. All the thoughts on the pizza today are shared with my thoughts from pizza from a few days ago. So let's just go back to the past to close this one out. For the Pizza Hut fans, do you think I succeeded? Do you think it needs work? Do you think I'm lazy, disrespectful, and dumb? Please let me know. Subscribe, like, and comment if you think I'm dumb. That's all I have today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.